Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Westwood Living Podcast. Tom Lydon with you, and making his second appearance with us on the podcast is Derek Field from
Hello.
Field Martial Arts Academy in Norwood. How are you, my friend?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Very excited to reconnect with you and just sort of get an update, because when I first chatted with you was at the beginning of 2023. I don't know exactly what episode you were, but it might be in the first 5. I think it might have been like episode 3. So
Sounds good.
We're in the high 90s now, and there's been a lot of water under the bridge between then and now. So general update. How's life? How's the
Life
not even
is-
a baby anymore? How's
Life
your
is
son?
great. Yeah, I have a toddler. He'll be 3 in June, which is crazy to say. He's awesome. Super fun age. I know that he's going to do very well out in the mats one day. We have Mr. Grinnell and Mr. Lee, who are helping on the mat a little bit more. Mr. Grinnell running our Kids Basic and Little Dragons programs, and an awesome first instructor when you come in to try out our program.
What has been very apparent to me, which I think is very cool because many of us who own our own businesses can take notes, is that you really have been able to take that next step where you're working so much more on your business than you are in your business. You've been able to scale your business up a little bit, bring on some of the former students who are now instructors. Walk us through that process, because you, like anybody who started out a business, were so invested in it
Right.
and doing everything from literally washing the floor to teaching classes. But it's
Yeah.
not necessarily that way right now.
No, sir. I definitely, definitely put the time in. There were lots of long days, and especially where some of the stuff that, was all on me for the day to day. And the team built slowly throughout the years. And the truth is that physically, another thing that happened, and I did just turn 40 years old, right? So, physically, I just cannot teach every single class every single day. Right. And in order for that to be the case, and that's to make sure I'm delivering a quality product while keeping my own health in mind. Right. That's why I'm raising the team up. For example, Mr. Grinnell, he started as our program director. Right. We go way back. He trained with me when I was still in Randolph at my previous location, at my previous school. So we've known each other very well throughout the years. He came in as our program director to do the initial introductory lessons. Absolutely crushed it. He took over a class on Saturdays to teach, crushed it. And then I took some time off, and he ran all the classes and crushed it. And that's why he's now taken over the Little Dragons and Basic Training program, doing a great job with that. I have other instructors on the Krav Maga side who are also teaching like the basic level Krav Maga program. So I'm still heavily involved in both sides of the mat, Krav and kids. But in order for the team to grow, give them more opportunities, right? I have to let go of some of my responsibilities, as far as like running the actual class.
Yeah, but you're doing different things now. So what does
Yes.
this extra freedom allow you to do that maybe you weren't able to do in the early years?
Well, I mean, I don't want to give out all my master plans, but like I still view our academy here as a kind of still just the beginning, right? We've been going since 2011, but I still think that we have room to grow as far as potentially like more mat space, another mat space, a couple classes going simultaneously, perhaps like something like another location, right? That's some time away, but that's my goal. So we're trying to steer us into that direction.
One of the good things that you do that I've noticed is that in terms of what I offer and we offer at Westwood Living to anybody who's a sponsor, is you have the access to all these other business owners who have, in many cases, gone down a similar path to the one you're either traveling or are looking to travel. So when I sell this product to people, I say, what I love is people like Derek, who really takes advantage of everything we do. He does the videos, he'll do the podcast, he shows up to the events. So in that regard, I hope the association has been helpful. And maybe can you share a story of somebody you have had a conversation with, even generally about something you've picked up from this network of business owners?
Well, obviously I have a network of other martial arts school owners, but you're absolutely right, Tom. Being around other business owners in different industries, all different areas, just like, one thing that sticks out is like there's always that like struggle in the beginning. It always starts small and it builds up. And
Is this going to work?
Is this going to work? Building through adversity. I mean, when you brought me on as a sponsor, you were just starting your Westwood Living, right? So that was like a same type of risk going into it. That's motivating, And I mean, we all know that, like, if a business is going to fail, usually it's in the first couple of years. So that beginning piece is tough. So, kind of circling back to martial arts and what we do, like, I tell my students all the time, like, perseverance. We don't give up when things get hard. That is usually a very common theme throughout the different industries. Even at the, I'll tell you that me and my wife, I will say, we loved the Lessons from Leaders little lunch that we had.
Yep.
All right, which was awesome. It was an intimate group. It was still great, like, chatting with everyone. And I felt right there that we already made a couple of connections between different people. And then seeing Maggie, the first speaker.
Maggie Cook.
Maggie Cook. Her story was so inspiring. That, like, literally fired me and Danielle up. That's mega levels of success, but, like, from where she started,
right.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's so inspiring and motivating.
So the quick summary there is that we got a small group together at Neroli back in early April to watch the Simmons Leadership Conference via video conference. And listen, I can throw parties where 300 plus people come. That's great. We've had great success doing that.
Great times too.
To your point, I don't mind the ones that are a bit more intimate because, listen, when there's a party of 100 plus, you can imagine how many really fruitful conversations I can have.
Right.
It's not as impactful as when you're sitting around a group, which in that case was, I think, maxed out at 10, where you're having real conversations with somebody. So whether that party's going to be 100 plus or a smaller gathering that's maybe 5 to 10 people, I think there's something positive that can come out of any meeting. And one of the things you said, which I find very, very useful, is with your marketing and your outreach strategy, it's almost a shotgun effect. Talk a little bit about that.
Shotgun approach, right. I mean, so the whole thought is that there's not one way to get 100 new members, but there's 100 ways to get one new member. I love being a part of Westwood Living, being an expert contributor, being able to put the articles in, getting the network out there, but, like, that's one form of advertisement. Granted, within Westwood Living, you give me many opportunities of, like, marketing and networking, but, like, then we have the ad cards. We have referrals, which are honestly our biggest source of people coming in. But even if someone's a referral, they see our cards out somewhere, Facebook, social media, Instagram, we get the reels going every day, showing, like, day-to-day classes, That's a great job. My wife runs that. All the instructors contribute, but, she runs that side of it. But, like, we just try to be everywhere. Haven't gone to Billboard yet, but
it's coming. I can feel it.
Every time I drive by this one particular one, I'm
like, would you be the kind of guy to put your mug up there, or would you be more a logo guy?
If I wanted to be funny, I'd put my face, just like my face, but no, it'd be a legitimate billboard.
Listen, there's value in everything. Actually, one of our slides talks about, pure advertising compared to pure sponsorship. And there is that impact of somebody seeing you on a billboard. I will say this, when someone sees you on a billboard, there's one clear message. It's kind of like, buy from me, right? You're just like spreading the word out like, hey, here I am. Yeah. And that's one of the great things about whether you're sponsoring a team, which I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
And whether you're sponsoring a publication, which I obviously know you do, that's a different way of telling the audience. It's like, hey, I care about this team. I care about this community. And it's a great way just to hit the heartstrings and make someone say, like, that's somebody I want to do business with.
For sure.
That's why I want to work with you. Listen, I want to touch on something you wrote about in the most recent issue, which was the concept of respect and how respect is such an integral part of what somebody learns when they enter your studio. Just touch a bit on how that resonates with you and how you try to convey that to not only the kids, but also the kids' parents.
Sure. So when a student comes in for the first time, we teach them two things before we teach them a single move. Teach them what we call black belt focus and black belt respect. And the focus is all about paying attention and concentrating and listening. And the respect is understanding that these moves aren't to be used to get into fights and practice your karate to hurt people, right? In fact, that's part of our student creeds that we have them, practice as well every single day. As I wrote in the article, like, the air of our school, the air of martial arts schools, right? At least that, keep the respect at a high level. It's almost like something that you feel when you walk in. Part of that is when a student, a parent, anybody comes in the school, I want them to feel welcomed. I want them to feel important. And that's from my team and myself, giving that respect out. You know, I tell the students, it's about treating people you want to be treated. So the whole thing with like bowing, right? It's not that when the students bow to the instructor, it's not that they're bowing to the instructor. They're bowing to Master Field. It's not like I have a picture hanging up where they bow to it every day yet. Right? But like it's a mutual bow. We're bowing to each other. And if we didn't keep that level of respect, and you know, I also tell the students too that like we have to understand that if these moves are done for the wrong reasons, like you can hurt somebody, right? When I teach a kid how to punch, I want them to punch strong, kick strong, right? I hope they never have to use their moves, but if they did, I want it to be effective. But at the same time, where I'm teaching them how to be strong and effective, they have to understand that this is not for horsing around and playing around, you know?
Right. If you can't feel the energy, it's your own fault. If you've never stopped by the studio, you should. Right here in Norwood, it's incredible to walk in and just see this operation in action when there are kids on the mats running around, full energy, parents sitting along the edge of the mat watching, which is just such a great thing that you offer. And it's just a phenomenal experience that I could speak to firsthand because my daughter Olivia went through it and she earned her junior black belt.
Oh, yeah.
So she'll always have that. And I appreciate everything that you did for her and everything that you do for so many people in our community. So thanks a lot.
Appreciate that, Tom.
That is Derek Field from Field Martial Arts Academy. You should follow along the journey here, get on board, and learn a little bit more about what he and his whole team does here in Norwood. But for now, that's the very latest from the Westwood Living Podcast Network. As always, if you can think of somebody else who's fun and engaging to speak with, just let me know. I will have a conversation with that person and then share it with you right here on the Westwood Living Podcast Network. But for now, we say so long from the studio in Norwood.